Hi, I'm Maud Mosley. My pronouns are they, them, and welcome back to Tunes Tuesday, a weekly series where I sit down with 2S LGBTQ plus queer musicians and bands to talk to them about their music, their experiences, and much, much more. Today, I am joined by Toronto-based singer-songwriter Miel Azevedo. Hey, can you
Hey
introduce
there.
yourself?
Hi, I'm Miel Azevedo. My pronouns are they, them. I think I'm a double Scorpio, which is very fun. Um, and yeah, I play a few different instruments. I currently trying to learn trumpet. I found my brother's high school trumpet. And I'm just really drawn to music and its healing properties.
Amazing. And I feel like that idea of healing properties may be one of the first things that we're about to talk about, because I want to start with something a bit heavy. As one of your currently released singles, Black Magic, is a powerful song that discusses relationships and love after trauma really honestly. And was this a hard piece to write, and how did it feel to release it?
hmm hmm Yeah, this song actually took like a couple years to put together. Um, and it kind of wrote itself. And like the second verse, for example, to me really describes disassociation. And I actually didn't even have the language for disassociation for me to be able to recognize when I was disassociating that that was even a thing. And so I wrote those lyrics and kind of realized afterwards that that's what I was describing in the song. And yeah, the song really makes me think of um, a bunch of special people in my life, actually. But especially when I was first writing it and it wasn't finished yet. Um, I put on a little house show and I was seeing someone named Lily at the time, and it was like an early kind of lesbian relationship for me, and it made her cry when I played it at the show. And it was so beautiful. Like I died just from her reaction to it. And that relationship specifically at that time was became kind of about navigating the fact that we had similar traumas and the fear of kind of being assertive with our desires because we didn't want to cross any boundaries, but yet not really having the language yet to navigate that yet. So that's something I feel like I've learned a lot about. Uh, it's just like how to speak about my desires and my boundaries and like navigate that a lot more. But and then the song musically actually just took a long time because that was the first one that I produced. And so it was coming at a time where music was kind of on the back burner for me for a while. And um, I was I was going through art school and it was something that I really, really wanted, but I didn't really have the time commitment of like getting chops basically yet. And so I started working with my drummer at that time, Nick Donovan, and uh, and that was the first song that I produced, um, where I was really, really laboring to get something at a certain level that where it felt tight, the music felt tight, and where what was going on within the production and the different instruments really like conveyed what I wanted the song, what the song meant to me in a way. And so it was really special to kind of finish it and release it because it felt like I had kind of got into a place where I was hearing what I wanted to hear in the production, kind of. Yeah.
So it's really incredible to hear about the love and care that went into that song that, confronts such a difficult topic, but also in such a relatable way. You talk about expressing that disassociation without having the language to do so. And, just so many survivors are put in that situation, where they're experiencing things they don't understand and they're coming up with different ways to explain it. And I feel like that's what can really be heard in that song, which is incredible. And potentially related to trauma, or potentially related to your experiences as a queer individual, I've noticed you share nude photography on your social media. And this could fully just be your choice to create fun art with your friends. But do you feel any deeper connections with creating or sharing that kind of art based on your experiences?
Yeah, it is interesting because, yeah, I have noticed this correlation in the stuff I post. And I think there definitely is a strong connection between um, addressing certain issues as a survivor and also like liberating my desire and my pleasure in my body and like my sexuality and my identity as a non-binary person and still being femme or like butch or whatever. And yeah, I got to be part of a project during the first lockdown, which I'm blanking on the name of right now. Freaks for a Cause. That was it, yeah. And so that was just put together, like we were putting together different kinds of queer porn basically. And then it was on OnlyFans, and then the money was going to different causes throughout like every month, which was really awesome. And that was the first time that I've made, I guess, like nude sexual content where, again, I was producing it, so I was in full control, and where it was also queer centered. Um, I started working with some photographers through a friend of mine, and they were all like cis het men. Um, and I was like, actually, this is not really what I want to be doing with my body. But I made this video piece that was really sexy and really sexy to make and felt really good. And it was also just kind of navigating um, a lot of ideas that or like feelings that were coming up to me at that time during the lockdown of like not feeling queer enough or like not feeling like I really fit into a category, and how those categories are kind of always are by definition exist like to leave people out and to like be, so yeah, that was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool to hear about that project. I actually didn't know about that. So it's really great to hear, stuff like that was happening. Like that's so interesting. That's so fun. And also just kind of how that's related to that idea of, reclaiming your space, reclaiming that pleasure, regaining that control over, your sexuality, but also how your sexuality is like perceived and all that. So that's really incredible to hear. And then more recently, you were part of 1492 Mixtape, which is a compilation album that was created to raise money for the 1492 Land Back Lane Legal Fund. And what did participating in this project mean to you?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It meant a lot. It was really special to be part of. And yeah, I think it's really it's really difficult to find that sweet spot of where you get to where like the distribution of music is like woven in with with a political sensibility and which is engaged with political issues. And so, um, and also something that's so close to home, like Six Nations Reserve is like very close to Hamilton, like it's right around the corner. And, you know, land defenders have been holding it down for so long and putting so much labor into it. So to be just to be able to support in any small way is just like a privilege. And I think it, you know, it really brings up deeper questions of like what it means to be a white settler musician on this land, and what does it mean to be like part of the music industry and the music world and how it's operating. And and that kind of grows exponentially in those questions of like, you know, how does connection of the land and connection to music relate? And then what is your place as a white person here in those lineages of music? And so, yeah, that's something that I've really been thinking about a lot and trying to explore lately is because a lot of my music has jazz influences in it. And that is something where when all these songs that I've written and produced, they're really coming from a place of not having a musical theory backgrounds and of not really like having chops and like having so much stuff together. And I really prided myself on like on kind of making stuff up and kind of feeling like I just made these things up. But I've been realizing through the help of some great friends and mentors really is that really whitewashes and is almost like an inherently racist like idea to feel like I created jazz. And actually the thing is to be like to be investigating and looking into the lineages of jazz and how those also connect to the lands, and like the fact that Charlie Parker, he was like one of the innovatives of like bebop, is like Choctaw, you know, and how it's indigenous and African music and all these things. So it's so, I kind of went on a tangent, but that's something that I wanted to say because I've been thinking about it a lot. And but yeah, it was just really special to feel like I could come together with a bunch of different musicians and be supportive in some way through music. Like, yeah.
Definitely. And I appreciate you sharing just like kind of that whole path you went on, that it wasn't just, where you are now was not where you were when you started. You learned a lot to get there, and you messed up. And I think, more people need to see that. Definitely. So thank you for sharing that. If you want to support 1492 mixtape to support the legal fund, or if you want to support the legal fund directly, or if you want to learn more about what is happening at 1492 Lamback Lane, I will make sure to link all those resources below. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being a part of Tunes Tuesday this week. If you want to find any of their music, that will also be linked below. You can check out their social media there as well. And see you next week. Miel Azevedo will be playing us out.
Oh, I'm alone.